In 1956, animals were used as part of medical therapy. The little girl in this photo feels the joy of the ducklings playing beside her. Perhaps this tiny moment of happiness was the only thing giving her hope. Just think, how simple yet profound a therapy method to bring such a smile to a child's face. This historical scene reveals the strict regulations enforced on beaches in the 1920s. At that time, women were fined if their bathing suits were deemed too short, falling below a specific length. This image powerfully reflects the societal pressures of the era and how women's attire was policed. Do you think such a rule would be acceptable today? How would people react if these rules were enforced in modern times? Just another day in New York City's subway during the 1980s? These young girls capture the carefree spirit and freedom of the era. This image reflects the swiftly changing face of New York and the boundless energy of youth. Looking back now, what do you think it felt like to roam the streets of New York back then? If we could momentarily return to that era, wouldn't it be an incredible feeling? In the summer of 1939, Albert Einstein enjoys a tranquil moment on a New York beach. Dressed in shorts, he appears relaxed and carefree. Yet, does a genius's mind ever truly rest? Could he have been contemplating the mysteries of the universe even in this peaceful moment? Perhaps this simple image reveals the human side behind his extraordinary intellect. When Elvis Presley took the stage, the excitement among teenagers was unstoppable. This young girl's face at the 1957 Philadelphia concert reflects the pure admiration and thrill of the Elvis craze. Can such energy still be found in today's music scene? This moment captures the raw impact of rock and roll at its finest. It's 1955 in a London music store. Customers sit in individual booths, listening to records before deciding which music to buy. While today we immerse ourselves in music through headphones, what if such an experience made a comeback? Feeling the nostalgia of those years would be something special. In 1932, the fearless painters of the Eiffel Tower work high above Paris. These workers, defying their fear of heights, risk their lives to maintain this iconic landmark. Could you brave such heights for a job? Safety standards were nothing like today's, but the courage of these men is undeniable. In this 1980s photo from Miami Beach, a protester stands among sunbathers, condemning bikini wearers to hell. This image challenges the social norms of the era, showing how personal beliefs clashed even in leisurely settings. How would you react if you encountered such a scene on the beach? A glimpse into 1950s Paris. Streets lined with history-soaked buildings, and the city's romantic atmosphere spreading across every corner. Perhaps writers and painters roamed here in search of inspiration. Would you like to see these streets with your own eyes? An Ojibwe Native American spearfishing on Minnesota's lakes in 1908. In a handcrafted canoe, he continues ancient traditions, living in harmony with nature, far from the modern world. How has today's technology altered the beauty of such cultures? Showgirls playing chess before a performance in 1958. Behind the glamour of the stage lies a unique preparation ritual. Perhaps these moves sharpen not only their minds, but also their on-stage strategies. Do you think this calm moment before the spotlight added a certain balance to the thrill of the show? A bride leaves her bombed-out home to get married in London, 1940. In the midst of war, she steps over the debris, holding on to love and life. What kind of courage and motivation does it take to move forward despite everything? Two African-American GIs posed during Easter in the 1940s, holding personalized shells with messages for Hitler. Their bold gesture, dubbed Easter eggs for Hitler, shows how humor can thrive even amid war's hardships. Do you think humor like this helped soldiers cope with the brutal realities of war? In 1939 London, even our loyal companions felt the scarcity brought by war. This little girl and her dog face a sign reading, "No Dog Biscuits today," perhaps representing a moment of innocent disappointment. Who do you think were the war's most innocent victims? In the early 1900s, New York's stifling summer nights led these children to seek relief on fire escapes. The image shows the harsh realities of the time, with children finding peace in a precarious place. Do you think children having to sleep in such conditions reflect society's failures? In this adorable photo, we see the real Christopher Robin and the toy bear that inspired Winnie the Pooh. This moment, filled with the innocence of childhood, marks the beginning of a friendship that would later captivate millions of children's imaginations. What do you think is the secret behind this friendship's worldwide resonance? This photo captures the aftermath of Sweden's decision in 1967 to switch from left-hand to right-hand driving. Can you imagine the chaos of that first day? The mix of people and cars paints a vivid picture of the challenges involved in a massive societal shift. The first metro ride in London, 1862. Could these people have imagined the experience of traveling underground? This initial journey laid the foundation for modern public transportation, marking the start of a major revolution in travel. An oasis in Giza, 1917. This serene scene beneath the shadow of the pyramids transports us back in time, blending tranquility with the depth of history. How many secrets of the past were hidden in this peaceful setting? Brave painters of the Brooklyn Bridge in 1914. Imagine the courage it took to work at such heights without modern safety gear. Reflecting on the minimal safety measures of that time, it's hard not to admire their dedication and commitment to the craft. In this 1903 photograph, American photographer James Ricalton poses with the Cashmer Giants, two towering men whose presence makes him look like a child in comparison. The stark contrast in size is striking. Imagine the impact of encountering such towering figures in that era. In 1906, inventor Charles S. L. Baker and his assistant are seen demonstrating a new heating radiator system. This isn't just a machine, it was a pioneering invention set to change living conditions of the era. The determination and passion for science radiate from this photo. How might this innovation have revolutionized homes back then? Circa 1920, this Inuk father is teaching his son the skill of hunting. Traditions, especially those vital for survival in harsh climates, were passed down through generations. In this image, amidst the cold ice, a warm father-son bond shines. Do the values we pass on to children today carry the same strength? Bobby Gibb made history as the first woman to run the Boston Marathon in 1966. Forbidden from official entry due to her gender, she ran without a bib, defying the odds and challenging societal norms. Her courageous act marked a pivotal step for female athletes' rights. Bobby's story embodies the power of equality. Could you have shown such bravery in her shoes? In this 1945 photograph, we witness the profound relief and joy of Jewish prisoners liberated from a death train. Each step towards freedom symbolized a reclaimed hope. Even after enduring such painful experiences, the resilience of the human spirit shines through. Doesn't this image reveal just how powerful hope can be, even in the darkest times? In this photograph, three young boys from Jamaica confidently pose and play to the camera, radiating joy and energy despite any challenges their environment may present. How do they manage to keep such genuine happiness and confidence alive? This image captures the purity and joy of childhood, revealing a spirit that remains untouched by adversity. This photo from the 1920s reveals that the modern selfie trend actually began decades ago. A Japanese couple captures their moment in front of a mirror with an old camera, creating a warm and intimate snapshot. This image not only reflects the past's approach to technology, but also the universality of love-filled moments. Different times, same emotions, right? This historic photo is a symbol of the strong bond between Native Americans and wolves. While settlers often viewed wolves as dangerous creatures, Native Americans respected them and lived harmoniously alongside them. This deep connection to nature and animals was a core part of their philosophy of life. Their way of living, so far removed from the modern world, carries profound wisdom. This photograph captures a historic moment in 1979 when 100,000 Iranian women marched against the compulsory hijab law. This powerful protest symbolized the incredible courage of women standing up for their rights. It became a symbol of resistance not only in Iran, but around the world. These brave women of that era sparked the flame of change and fought for freedom. In this photo, a Red Cross nurse is writing down the last words of a mortally wounded soldier around 1917. Even in the midst of suffering and war, humanity and compassion persist. The nurse is capturing perhaps the soldier's last meaningful words. This moment illustrates how the human spirit remains resilient and empathetic, even under the shadow of war. In this photo, the fearless Russian female pilots, known as the Night Witches, are bombing the Nazis under the cover of night in 1941. These women, who silently glided behind enemy lines, made history with their bravery. This unexpected force in the darkness was a nightmare for the Nazis, symbolizing resistance during the war's most challenging times. In 1969, an undercover police officer in Brooklyn donned a disguise to carry out his duties. At that time, ensuring street safety often meant police would resort to all kinds of creative disguises. This extraordinary assignment required both courage and intelligence. This striking image offers a unique window into the social dynamics of that era. In 1948, a young boy gazes at a television screen for the first time, and his expression of awe speaks volumes. Television was a groundbreaking invention of the time, sparking immense curiosity in society. The boy's look captures the innocence and wonder of a generation witnessing technology's magic for the first time. Can you feel the enchantment of this moment? In 1929, the magnificent sunbeams streaming through Grand Central Terminal created an enchanting atmosphere, now obscured by towering buildings around it. This scene, a dance of light and shadow, captures a moment when the sun once filled the terminal with warmth and life. People walking beneath those beams felt the energy of the city in every step. In 1940, at Shaame Fort, these British soldiers interrupted their drag show rehearsal to man a naval gun during a German raid, blending war's severity with a touch of humor. With costumes instead of traditional gear, their resolve to face the challenges of war. In this 1905 photo from Oslo, women wait by the windows of Ullevål Hospital to see their quarantined loved ones. Love and dedication transcend even the barriers of illness. This image captures the powerful yearning for family amidst the hardships of that era. This stunning image from 1911 captures the icy world of the Terra Nova expedition. Geologist Thomas Griffith Taylor and meteorologist Charles Wright stand at the entrance of an ice grotto on Ross Island in Antarctica, embodying the challenging conditions of exploration. Photographer Herbert Ponting immortalized the grandeur of nature and the passion for discovery in one frame. Could you brave such a cold, ice-bound world in pursuit of knowledge? In this 1941 image from Japan, two women display an anti-British propaganda poster featuring Winston Churchill, a sign of the intense nationalist sentiments of the era. Their expressions, with noses pinched, illustrate the strong disdain promoted during wartime propaganda. This snapshot captures the power of media in shaping public opinion, especially during moments of global conflict. How effective do you think propaganda was in influencing people's views at that time? In this stark 1936 photograph, a mother and her children stand near their makeshift shelter along U.S. Route 70 by the Tennessee River, symbolizing the harsh realities of the Great Depression. Their worn clothes and bare feet tell a story of struggle and resilience, embodying the strength needed to endure such difficult times. This powerful image captures the human impact of economic hardship and the spirit of survival that defined an era. In 1967, the last recorded sword duel in France took place between the mayor of Marseille and a Socialist Party candidate for the presidency. This dramatic moment in history is captured with two men locked in an intense fencing stance, embodying a bygone era of settling disputes with blades rather than words. The clash reflects a unique intersection of tradition and modernity, marking the end of an era for dueling. Before the iconic faces of American presidents were etched into it, Mount Rushmore was simply a majestic mountain with rugged rock formations. This image captures the untouched grandeur of the mountain, a natural wonder before it became a national monument. It's a reminder of the transformation of landscapes to reflect cultural symbols and historical legacies. At 18, Queen Elizabeth II looked poised and serene. a young woman with a sense of duty that would shape her entire life. This photograph captures a rare contemplative moment, reflecting the responsibilities that lay ahead. Her expression shows a hint of solemnity, perhaps an early understanding of the life she was destined to lead. A haunting scene from the Titanic disaster. One of the lifeboats, crowded with survivors, drifts aimlessly in the cold Atlantic, awaiting rescue. The expressions, filled with a mixture of fear and relief, hint at the trauma of leaving loved ones behind. This small vessel became a symbol of both survival and loss, floating amidst one of history's darkest nights. First class in 1960 was a world apart, spacious, luxurious, and elegant. Passengers reclined in wide seats with ample legroom, chatting in a lounge-like setting. Attentive flight attendants moved gracefully, ensuring comfort at every turn. The ambiance, more like a stylish living room than an airplane, offers a glimpse into the golden age of air travel, where flying was as glamorous as it was practical. Pauline Musters, recorded as the shortest woman ever to live, stood at just 24 inches tall. Born in 1876 in the Netherlands, her petite stature made her a marvel of her time, captivating audiences across Europe and America. This photo captures her elegance and unique charm, embodying resilience despite the challenges of her size. How remarkable it is to see such a small frame command so much presence.